Alright, so today I want to talk about work-life balance and how important it is to make sure you have a good and healthy work-life balance. A lot of times we pour ourselves so much into our careers, into our jobs, whether it's on the corporate side, in the private sector, in the public sector, in the government, in the military. We may pour so much of ourselves into our job thinking that, okay, I'm doing this for my family, or I'm doing this to set myself up for the future. But we don't realize what we're missing and that we're hurting our happiness possibly in the long term by pouring so much of ourselves into our work. You get this a lot, especially when you work a salary job. You may work a salary job and think, all right, well, I don't get paid hourly, so there's not truly any specific time that I'm set to work. I don't just work 9 to 5, clock out, and then that's it for the day. In the military, AGR, Florida National Guard, salary paid. So much is spent because of the high OPTEMPO, especially depending on what unit you're in. So much is spent outside of the office. We spend so much time doing work at home or staying late. A typical work day can either be 7 o'clock to 16:30, or could be 6:30 to 1600. But you think, okay, I'm gonna try to get as much done as possible within that time frame, but you quickly come to realize that it's next to impossible in order to get everything that you want to get done and try to exceed the standard possibly just within that window. The operation tempo for the National Guard, for example, is so high right now. Recently got guidance and made aware that, and we had a great discussion this past weekend about the whole motto of 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks out of the year for a National Guardsman. You tell a family member that, you tell someone's parents that when you want to sign them up if they're under 18, you tell a recruit that if they are 18, you tell an employer that hey, yeah, I'm National Guard and these are the requirements. We have commercials dedicated to, hey, hire a National Guard soldier, be a National Guard soldier, 1 weekend a month, part-time warrior type message. And then you quickly come to realize that we're going to have to reshape that message to say, hey, I get it. Typically it is 48 days out of the year for drill periods, and then another 2 weeks out of the year for the annual training period. However, in order for us to be a ready force as a National Guard, it's going to require more than just that 1 weekend of the month. We may ask you to go 2 weeks for annual training and another 2 weeks to prepare for annual training, or another 2 weeks to get your military education done outside of the annual training period. Or we may need you to come in and be early for drill, a couple days. And, we ask so much of our soldiers now and of ourselves that unless we have that healthy work-life balance, we're going to drive ourselves crazy. I would be curious to know how many hours a typical AGR soldier works, especially as you progress up the ranks and have more leadership, more responsibility. How many hours are you truly putting in? And in those hours, are you neglecting either yourself or possibly family? If you have a family, are you missing out on those key moments? Not because you have duty, which you can't help, but because you decided to work an extra 3 or 4 hours each day during the week just to get things done because you felt like you needed it in order to set the unit up for success. If you set that unit up for success, how much is your family life or your personal growth or your mental state, how much is that lowering? You have to keep that balance good. It's almost like making breakfast. You try to get all the ingredients done around the same time. I got the eggs cooking over here. I got bacon going over here. I got pancakes over here. I got to, if I pay too much attention to the bacon over here, then my eggs are getting hard. If I pay too much attention to the eggs over here, now my bacon's burned. You got to have that balance. It's very important that you recognize it and you set aside time, specifically either for yourself or your family. If you're someone who's not married, I'm not married, I don't have any kids. My work-life balance may look different than someone who does have kids, and they have to make sure that they're setting aside time for vacations, setting aside time for the family just to get together and do things together and make memories. You know, for me, it may just be because I'm single and I have no kids. Hey, my work-life balance is I got to make time for myself. I got to get out. You know, what's my hobby? What are things that I want to do to make me relax, give me a personal time to lower stress, regardless of what it could be. So it's very, very important. I want you to walk away from this message knowing work-life balance, you got to have it. You know, you can pour so much into that job, so much into that career, so much into that unit if you're in the military, but understand that when you're gone, when Major Dan Brown is gone from the Florida National Guard, someone else moves in and they keep the boat going, take it even higher. So while you may be thinking, I'm pouring so much in, and it's good, and you want to do a good job, you want your superiors to be pleased with the work that you're doing, you want to set a unit up for success, but understand that when it's all said and done, when you hang up that uniform, then the unit moves on without you. And those individuals who you may have had on the back burner, you may have missed out so much, and then you come to realize, man, I may have missed the boat, and I should have put more effort into my family, or I should have put more effort into myself, because now that I'm out of the military, now what? So make sure, as this OPTEMPO increases, that you've got that healthy work-life balance. You may feel like you're slacking, you're not putting in as much work into the job as others may be putting into, but understand that you have work and you have family and you have yourself. Everything has its importance, so make sure that you're not neglecting your family and you're not neglecting yourself. All right, thanks.